Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor and best-selling author, and we are here to talk about the stock market. Bank of America put out a very interesting list of the top 100 conversations on Reddit, or really the top 100 stocks that are mentioned on Reddit, and the baby's crying. So I think mama's on it. I don't know if y'all can hear it, I can hear it. But anyway, Bank of America has put this list together and essentially saying like these are the top most common stock. It's not just Wall Street bets that are pushing a lot of these stocks, but these could be next. Okay, so I'll give you the entire list as what I saw, and we'll look at a few of them. I'll tell you the one that I am really interested in owning. One of them I do own by accident, actually, and we'll talk about that. So I guess I might be holding on to that one, but there is one I do. One that really caught my attention that I might actually invest in. So let's go ahead and get into it. But before we do, I do want to give you a general warning and transparency, right? So anything that's mentioned with Wall Street bets don't mean it's safe. Okay. I don't really think that, with the exception of one of these, that this could be a long-term investment, not something that I would put my kids' money into. And for me, like you want to be careful, right? So I always tell you guys that in any stock, you want to follow the 5% rule, which means that no more than 5% of your overall investment should be in one company. With something like this, you might want to tailor it down and say like, 1 to 3% or even less, but that's totally up to you. I'm just warning you and telling you now. Another thing that you want to employ is your limit orders, especially a stop loss, which means that you got to say, look, if it drops below this price, it's gonna get you out. It's gonna save you some money, hopefully, in most cases, because you do not know how these companies are going to behave, and a lot of them ain't all that great on paper. Okay, so I'm just throwing it out there and just telling you now. So which one of these could be the next GameStop? Which one of these could be the next AMC? You also want to know that it may not be exactly the same, right? GameStop went from this time last year to $2 to $300 or whatever it is today. So, it may not be the exact same thing, but there may be a little bit of money to be found. For example, I think it was CLOV, I think it was Clover Healthcare, Pharmaceutical, whatever company it was. That was one that they were talking about 2 or 3 days ago. I did get in that one. I only put $200 in. Okay. You're not gonna catch me out here losing a whole bunch of money, right? But I made my $60. I got out, and that was it. I had my stop loss. I had my limit. My limit order said if it hits this price, you get out. That's what I did. I walked away, and then that company fell off the day after that. So hey, right? But all that to say, I do practice what I preach. If I do anything like this, it is very careful. I'll also tell y'all what's going on. But that's not something, if this is your first stock to buy, I probably wouldn't do it. Okay. Just being honest with you. All right. So let's go through the list. I'll give you the list, the ticker symbols, and then the one stock that I do own and the one stock that I am planning to own, or at least considering. I think considering is a good word because I don't know just yet. So let me pull up this list right quick, and then we'll read it off one by one. Make sure I'm not missing any important messages. All right, so so Bank of America compiled this list as what they think could be the next big thing, not me. Okay, I'm only reporting the news. All right, so top mentions in Wall Street bets, you got AMC for obvious reasons, right? AMC had taken off more than 1,000% at one point this year. You've got so AMC is ticker symbol AMC, GameStop, GME. We pretty much know that. Then you got the newcomers that weren't always there, at least from my view. You got Clean Energy, CLNE is a ticker symbol there. You got Workhorse, WKHS. My friend Andre, we do the Flavor podcast together. He has a very funny story about Workhorse. Still a little mad about that loss, but we'll get to that later. You got Wendy's, which is delicious, is WEN, Virgin Galactic, SPCE, Academy Sports and Outdoors, ASO, Athene Holding, ATH, I don't know what they do. You got Beyond Meat, BYND, Silvergate Capital, SI, Atenro, or Ant Row Midstream, don't know what they do. The ticker symbol is AM. Then you got Natus Medical, NTUS, and then lastly, you've got you got Bed Bath & Beyond, BBBY, and then you've got further down the list is what they say is World Wrestling Entertainment, which is WWE. So these are the stocks that Bank of America thinks that could be next. These are the stocks that they're saying they're highly mentioned inside of the Wall Street Bets group. And we did see Clean Energy did make some moves I want to say the last 48 hours. Let me double check that real quick so I can give you CLNE. I'm just looking at it on my end. So it's clean energy. And I'm going to look at the last, I would show you this chart, but there's a whole lot going on here. All right, so on the 14th, that's not the 14th, we go 5 days. That was going way back to December. All right, so I will show you this one because this is a simplified chart just to show you that this stock did move within this week. Let me share here and just kind of give you a quick look. So you can see that, again, this stuff can be very dangerous. This is why you want to have that stop loss, why you want to be careful, why you really don't want to put a whole bunch of money into stuff like this. But did want to show you and be transparent here. So this was the 4th, June 4th, at, you can see on the left hand side about $10 or so a share. It shot all the way up on the 9th, 8th and 9th by $13 or so. Can't really tell, but you can see that it shot up, right? It was as low on the 4th. It's about $9, shot up to about 13, and then kind of just fell off after that. It's still one of the most mentioned companies in the Wall Street Bets community. So we'll see where it goes. But of all the companies, Beyond Meat is actually the one I own, but I actually own it by accident on public. I was getting free shares, and you know how the referral process works. So people were clicking a link, they get a free share, I get a free share. It was a green logo, and I think I was supposed to be picking an S&P 500 fund. Click Beyond Meat by accident. I think I have a total of $13. So transparency, I do own that one. I will either be holding it until Wall Street Bets pumps it up, which I hope happens, or I'll just get rid of it at the end of June. Whatever comes first. I don't really care about the company. I just don't. It's not one I follow, and it ain't been making me no money. So it's not worth it for me to pay attention to. However, they are on the list, so I will likely keep it. Some of the other companies that I am interested in, or at least keeping my eye on, and the one that I do like, we go back here and make sure I have all this pulled up. So I have everything in one screen. But the one I'm really looking at, and the one I think could be like the next big thing, is probably, if I had to put money on it, it's probably going to be Bed Bath & Beyond. The process I have seen around this is these tend to be companies that are short squeezed, right? And all these companies, I believe, are in that position. Short squeeze, or companies that are shorted a lot. That means that you've got these hedge funds that are essentially borrowing and betting that these companies are going to fall. But if they shoot up, if we as a people buy these companies, that means that the hedge funds lose. That's the whole process behind it. So all of these are in that short category. So they're all candidates. But I would probably say that Bed Bath & Beyond is the most likely to be the next one. Why do I say that? Is primarily because what seems to happen is these are usually cheap companies that we all have known of, heard of, and have some sort of connection to. GameStop is one of those. We've probably all been to an AMC theaters, right? Is one of the reasons why they tend to move the way they do. Of all the companies that have been shorted and all the companies that have had these types of runs, it's those two that really stand out. I would venture to think that Bed Bath & Beyond would be the next one, because a lot of us have been there, right? I know exactly how that store smells, which is generally pretty good. But I think it's the emotional connection to an AMC, to a GameStop, and to that type of store that people can latch on to, people will likely buy and continue to move up. If I'm not mistaken, it's only $32 a share right now. I'm trying to double check here. BBBY. And if I'm not mistaken, and this is pure speculation, so I have not looked into the company itself, I'm pretty sure they're not doing all that well. It's a company that was primarily in the mall. We had the whole pandemic thing. You could order lotion from Amazon. So there's no way as to why I would think the company is doing exceptionally well. But again, that's all conjecture. That's all guess. We'll see. But the company that I would actually buy, right? So I think Bed Bath & Beyond would be the next big thing. I can't guarantee that though. But what I do know is that Academy Sports and Outdoors is probably the most legitimate of them all. What I want to do is I'm going to refresh the screen here. I'll share it with you to show you why I like Academy Sports and Outdoors. But number one, the entire process for this, right? The entire process for me is do these companies deserve to rise, right? Does it make sense? Is the economy in a good space for that would justify rather that a company like this would continue to rise? I told you a long time ago, GameStop and AMC, no. I don't care who's been added to the board. I don't care what's going on. We know for a fact that it does not make sense for GameStop to exist. Okay. The share price can do what the share price does. That's fine, right? I gotta do what y'all want to do in the share price. But what we know from the PS5 shortage, what we know from the new Xbox, what we know from gaming, from computers, I don't actually need to go to a store to buy games or anything. I can just download it directly, be on my way. I'm not trading in anything. That I know for a fact. Same thing with AMC. Are there people that are going to go back to the theaters? Are there going to be a record number of people going back to the theaters now and this summer? Yeah, possibly. But I also know that AMC had been losing money for the last 5 years. I know that, right? I also know that with Disney Plus and HBO Max and all these other streaming services, that is going to cut into their market. Once people flood the theaters this summer, they probably will. But after about a year or two, things are going to fall right back down unless they own a Hulu or some way to kind of starve that type of competition off. So again, they don't deserve to be up 1,000%, but they are. And that's just because people want them to be, right? So I think Bed Bath & Beyond could be one of those next ones. However, for an Academy Sports and Outdoors, that's the one that actually deserves to be up. It's summertime. People are going back out. People are more vaccinated. Sports are starting back up. People are buying this equipment and really want to get out and be in the great outdoors. I say it like that because I have allergies. I don't feel like being outside like that. But hey, people do enjoy it. But also, if you look at the pattern and the chart for Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll see that it's actually pretty consistent and it's actually not all that bad. So what I'm going to do is show you that real quick. I want to cut out some of the other noise here. Let's do, I think it was an ASO, it's Academy Sports and Outdoors, right? And I'm gonna share the screen. I'm gonna cut out the rest of these stocks so you can see it, and then we'll wrap up here in just a second. Right. All right, here we go. So you see Bed Bath & Beyond, huge spike here, fell off, didn't do much, huge spike here. So, is it going to continue to spike? I really don't know. It's really, really hard to call. However, you can see some of the rest of the stocks down 28% last 6 months, up 10%. It's pretty hard to call. But let's get rid of these real quick. And it looks like baby girl is not happy about this. So we're going to go get her in a second once I think mom is in there now. Okay. All right. So I can see like the spikes are going to be the spikes, right? But Academy Sports and Outdoors is relatively consistent over the past 6 months. If I go to a year, very similar to, so this is Academy Sports and Outdoors. I'm thinking the other company is very similar. I don't know if it's Sports Authority, Dick's Sporting Goods, very, very similar, where it's really consistent, 600%, 596% over the past year. Look, if Wall Street Best wants to hop on that one, they can hop on that one. But this might be one I might hop on anyway, right? Dick's is already on my watch list, so maybe I'll compare the two here. But this is a hard one for me to ignore. So if they want to talk about on Wall Street Bets and pump this up even more, fine. If they don't, I still think that's still a good company. So you just kind of get lucky where those two things kind of fall together. It makes sense that a Dick's as well as a Academy Sports and Outdoors rises in this fashion. But you can also see the risk here between a purely speculative play where you can see where great. If you got in the day before this spike, perfect. If you got in after, not so great. So you're taking that risk. So what I would do, right, I think Bed Bath & Beyond will be like the next, meme stock. I think Academy Sports and Outdoors is just a better company. I think they are the best stock if I'm looking for something that's a little more long-term and a lot less risky in terms of a very quick loss. So there's no guarantee on both of those, but this is how I see it. Academy Sports and Outdoors is the company I would consider investing. Beyond Meat is the one I have right now by accident, and Bed Bath & Beyond I think is going to be the next big thing if they ever decide to get off of AMC and GameStop. They've been stuck on those for quite a while. All right, so that is it for me. I will talk to you guys later. Oh, one other thing before I go. teaching a new class. I'll make sure that I put the link there. I'm gonna show you how to build your 6-figure investing plan. It is going to be an awesome class. I'll be teaching a few next week and maybe one this weekend. So the schedule will be up. I'll put the link up there. You do definitely want to sign up for this. All right, now it's time. That's it. Now it's time. All right. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.